Thanks for watching Speak Up SLC with Mayor Jackie Biskupski. I'm your host, Poonam Kumar. If you've got questions for the mayor, please tweet them to us at #SpeakUpSLC, or you can join us in our live chat room. Mayor, thanks again for joining us.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
So, Mayor, you had a busy week last week with the Utah Pride Festival.
Yes.
First off, tell me about raising the flag in front of the city and county building. What was that like for you?
Wow, that was big. I had walked down there to, raise the flag, and then I saw all these volunteers around me, and I invited them to join me. I'm like, come help me do this. And people walked over, and then we all took turns, and everybody really felt something, some experience that was really moving. And I'm sure everybody has their own view on how it felt, but it was definitely empowering to raise that flag and to be a part of it and to just watch it wave. It was beautiful.
All right, and now, there's so many celebrations to go along with this event. And one of the things that, we just recently dedicated the Harvey Milk Boulevard, and then you've got, full marriage equality, which you mentioned in one of your speeches, I think, opening night. But one thing I wanted to talk to you about was the gender reassignment surgery that is now it's available now to city employees, right, as part of the health insurance coverage. That's pretty.
Once the budget passes, it will be available, and it's very important. And there's so many people don't really understand the importance of it, yet those individuals who have been needing that coverage really clearly can explain the importance of it. And people had shown up at the last council meeting just in case the topic came up and testimony was needed. And so it's really important to people, and I'm very grateful we have the opportunity to provide that.
To do something like that. And as we know, there's still so much work to be done in this area, but what a neat opportunity to have this event taking place at the city and county building. And you were involved with a couple marches, and you were also even awarded by the Utah Pride Center. Let's talk a little bit about that.
What a powerful night that was, because other people being honored that night are heroes of mine, so getting this Breaking Barriers award was very meaningful to me. It certainly is something that not only I have accomplished in my lifetime running for different offices, but also others. And there are a lot of people who work very hard to break barriers. And I mean, look at Hillary. That in and of itself is breaking a barrier where she has landed. And for a woman to be a nominee for the first time ever. So, those barriers that present themselves, people need to look at those and figure out what to do with them, because we all should have the same opportunities in life and be able to achieve our goals and pursue our dreams. And sometimes barriers just are in the way. And they are meant to be broken.
And you even met with a student from West High School, right? Was it?
I had a student come. It was not from West, but a student came to my office with parents in tow to talk about an incident that happened in a classroom where this teacher took it upon himself to out this person as being transgender. And the student really was not sure on what to do and was really struggling personally, mentally, emotionally about the experience. And we had a long dialogue around what it means to stand up for yourself, to be proud of who you are, to maybe not turn away from the opportunity to affect change. The student could just decide to leave and go to a different school. But that's not what happened.
No.
And so change is happening.
Right. You had a discussion on empowerment, right?
That's right. And away that student went and is changing things and dynamics in that school that will be very meaningful for years to come.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, and now there are a lot of things that you're working on currently right now. And so We had Utah Pride Festival, but another big event is happening. And you've been working very extensively with the commission on addressing homelessness within the city. And the city will be hosting a series of workshops starting next week. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yes, we have 4 workshops coming up all over the city. And in those workshops, we are asking for the community to become engaged and be a part of the solution on how we do site selection, you know, trying to get away from this mentality of not in my backyard and move in a direction of solutions. You know, how do we determine sites? You know, what's the criteria and what are the priority criteria that we should be looking at as we pick sites in our city? You know, we're very invested in breaking up the population down in the Rio Grande area, providing services in a different fashion that are more effective and more helpful to getting people back to being independent.
Right.
And so I'm very hopeful that the community decides to be a part of the solution, comes to these 4 events, and is very engaged and vocal about, you know, here's what I believe should be the priorities around how you determine a site.
Right. And at this workshop, this is where we can talk a little bit more about the look and feel, or if there are any issues or concerns. There'll be elected officials and other service providers and experts that will be in attendance, right, to help address and answer some of those questions that residents might have about, I know the big issue is always, I don't want this in my backyard.
Yeah, you know, we just need to move away from that, because if you look at it, you know, the new VOA facility for youth, it's such a beautiful facility. It is serving that segment of the population that has found themselves homeless in a new fashion, in the direction we are heading, and it fits right into the neighborhood extremely well. And it's no different than the YWCA of Utah, which has been here for so long and also serving a segment of the population that has found itself homeless. So no matter what, we have a real opportunity to create change, lasting change, on how we help people who find themselves homeless.
Right. And just real quick, what's the timeline moving forward? So we're going to have workshops. What's sort of the next step in that?
Workshops, and then our committee will get back together to go over the results of those workshops. Then we will make some decisions from there. We are very driven to at least get a site selected and hopefully break ground in the spring. We have to do design work in the meantime, so everything's on a very tight timeline in order for us to start creating a new resource center.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
It's definitely something that we're all looking forward to here in Salt Lake City.
Absolutely.
So. And now you're in the budget process. Council has to make a decision by June, I think 22nd, end of this month. So where are we at in the process?
You know, I haven't heard much as far as any concerns about the budget I had presented. So I'm really just waiting for the council to make some final decisions and see where the variations lie, and whether, you know, those are critical differences or not critical, and then we can move ahead. But I'm looking forward to seeing where they land, and I'm very hopeful that the 2 new departments that I've been pushing for will be in that budget. They did confirm a new director the other night for economic development, so I'm very excited about that. Laura Fritz,
Great. And so what's the future of that department? Now that she's sort of getting settled into that position, what are some of the top priorities that she'll be working on?
Sure. So Laura will be over economic development and arts and culture, and she'll also be over the RDA. So her role will be very extensive in the work that she does with both of those arms, and really kind of rebuilding the business development side. And then picking up and really getting honed in on the current projects with the RDA, understanding very clearly the direction things have been heading, and then strategic planning efforts need to happen for our city around economic development, which she is already working on.
Wow.
Yeah.
And she's got a lot of
go-getter.
experience. I read a little bit about her, and she's
Yes.
just sounds like she's ready to go and be running with all of this.
She is. It's so great, and she's so friendly, and met so many community leaders, met so many people from within our city government, and you know, the response has just been incredible.
Now, if there are local business leaders or people within the community that want to meet the new director, I'm guessing they can either call the mayor's office or schedule a time to maybe sit down and meet with her and ask those questions impacting their communities.
You know, she is moving from across the country, so during this next little window of time, she will be in that process.
Okay.
But I believe she's here July 1, and we would be happy to get meetings scheduled so that key people in our community have a chance to meet with her.
Oh, that's excellent. Great. And I just want to go backtrack a little bit to the budget. Now, you made a proposal for parking amnesty. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Well, we want to let people know there's a real opportunity for some forgiveness on your parking tickets. So if you go to our website, you'll see some information about the parking amnesty proposal. And if that passes in this budget, then what you'll find is that there's a window of time that allows for you to come pay your parking tickets, and we'll give you a deduction for coming in if you bring a donation for our shelter.
Which could even be a canned food item to a local
canned food
nonprofit.
item, that's right. That's right.
Wow, that's great. And so we'll learn a little bit more about if that gets approved, right? And you know, more of the details about that.
I'm very hopeful. You know, we researched this kind of proposal. There is a win-win situation for people with parking tickets, the city, and also organizations that provide services in this community. So
excellent.
Yes.
Well, I'm going to turn to some questions. We did get a few here.
All right.
So we've got, looks like, okay, so this message comes from Lena, and she asks, can you talk about Utah's decision to sue the Obama administration on the HB2 issue? No.
You know, I'm sorry, Lena, I don't have a lot of information about that
And I
decision.
think she's talking a little bit here about regarding the gendered restrooms, public accommodation. So I don't know how much.
Yeah, I don't really know what went into their thought process. What I would say is wrong direction. You know, I think we absolutely have to do better at understanding this segment of the population and the needs, and not stereotype what's going on. And, you know, these are real people, and they are, so many have just been misunderstood about what they're going through. So for me, I think all bathrooms should be accessible, and people should be able to access them. I am concerned about any sort of movement that would prohibit somebody who identifies as a transgender individual and is not being allowed access.
And we as a city, are we working towards, you know, addressing this topic? And if so, like, what are some of the things that we're doing? I know this was a bit of a discussion before, but what are some steps that we're taking?
No, we have people on our team in the administration that are very focused on this issue, and in fact, working with youth, like real young people who are coming forward and saying, look, you know, this is my situation, and I need somebody to help with that. So we're trying to help in many ways, and address some of the requests that are coming to us, and figure out how to once again create a city for everyone, and that's our bottom line.
Right. Right. Well, Mayor, thank you so much for being here with us today. We look forward to joining you next time and having a discussion about all the other things that are happening.
That's
There's so
right, and
many
there's
things.
so many
I
things.
know. Well, thank you so much. And
Thank
for
you.
those that are watching, if you continue to have any questions for the mayor, please send them to us on Twitter at #SpeakUpSLC. You can also contact the mayor's office, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you so much for watching Speak Up SLC with Mayor Jackie Biskupski.